What's going on, guys? Jerry App here. This week we got a bit of a strange, some would consider, episode about a sports game. I know, probably one of the only sports games we'll ever talk about on the podcast, but here it is, man. I was told by certain people around me that this is not a sports game because there's not a ball in it. It's not basketball. It's not football. It's not soccer, not football. You heard me, Europeans. It's soccer. So I guess biking isn't a sport. I guess skiing isn't a sport. I guess snowboarding isn't a sport. What is that even? What is that logic even? Most of those are in the Olympics too. So it's like, okay, what are we even talking about right now? So without further introductions, of course, we are talking about Riders Republic, originally released October 28th, 2021 by Ubisoft, the guys that make X-Defiant, the guys that make Rainbow Six Siege, Division, all those games. And they released this game about 3 years ago, maybe closer to 4, and it's actually pretty good. Dude, I saw that release date originally, and I was actually dumbfounded. I was like, really? 3 years ago? It still seems so recent. I mean, those years, man, 2020, 2021, 2022, those years are just like a fever dream to me. I swear they still never happened, and a lot of the nation still hasn't recovered from them. I didn't realize it at the time, but some of this game's development was done during COVID. During those years, I couldn't imagine it was easy to come to work and put a product out when the whole world was in the state that it was in, even though I shouldn't say it, but it all turned out to be bullshit. So, it's whatever. It's whatever, though. If I had to describe this game, I would say it's a jack of all trades, but it's a master of none. You know what I mean? It's a pretty good game. It's really fun. It's really, really fun, especially if you have people to play with. I had a close friend IRL that I play this game with a lot, and it's a good time, man. It really is. It's pretty much my new Skate waiting room, though. The new Skate, I'm definitely going to talk about the Skate games at some point on this podcast. But yeah, I cannot wait for that new Skate game to come out. It's going to be free to play. It's going to be hopefully the best of all of the games combined. It's probably going to have a crazy park editor, I would imagine. But whatever. I'm getting into a whole thing that's not even about Riders Republic here. So yeah, dude, I love the Skate games. I think they're the best of what skateboarding has to offer in the form of a video game. I think it's better than Tony Hawk. Just for that realism simulation factor, And the skateboarding in Riders Republic isn't all that great, which I'll definitely get into at some point. I did not buy the skateboarding pack because you actually do have to spend an absurd amount of money to get it. Last time I checked, it was $40 for the add-on, so I didn't. But it does have a trial mission you can do, so I did that. And it just doesn't feel as good as Skate. I know it's not really the same audience. It's not really the same style of game at all. I know Riders Republic isn't really so simulation-y. Actually, depending on the downhill biking and stuff, it can be. But when it comes to skateboarding and BMX, definitely not, The reason I'm saying all this is because it kind of goes back into my first point, or what I said about it being a jack of all trades, but a master of none, right? The jack of all trades in the sense that, yes, it does have a lot of stuff to do in it. It has the wingsuit, it has the jetpack, it has the couple different types of biking, BMX biking, dirt biking, downhill biking. It's got snowboarding. It's got skiing. They added skateboarding recently. It's got snowmobiling. So yeah, jack of all trades, a lot of stuff to do in it. But when it comes to mastering it and actually being the best of the best in that style, I mean, the other games that just represent that whole sport as a whole do it better, in my opinion. Obviously, that's going to be the case. They can't craft crazy physics and do everything for each individual sport. Does that make sense? Which honestly, for the price I bought it for, is not that bad at all. Let me just say right now, I bought this game on a Steam sale, maybe sometime last year. I can't remember exactly when. It definitely wasn't when the game released, that's for sure. I bought this game sometime last year for $10 on a Steam sale, which was a really, really big steal to me. I was like, of course, because this was a game I definitely wanted when it was released, but I just couldn't justify the price. Plus, I was also busy. I'm sure I was balls deep in some other game, probably Overwatch at the time. What was it, 2021? Yeah, definitely Overwatch. Actually, you know what? No, I think it was Siege during that time, because I think that was during the end of Overwatch 1 when it was turning into Overwatch 2, and I didn't play Overwatch 1 that much because I knew it was turning into Overwatch 2. So I think I got really into Siege at that time. I don't remember what I was doing at this time, but yeah, I was playing something else and didn't want to buy the game. So I was like, okay, sure, I'll get it now that it's on a Steam sale. And it ended up being a really good decision. I got a lot of fun hours in this game. I forgot to mention that BMX is actually locked behind another paywall as well. So you have to pay I think I paid $10 for it recently just so me and my buddy could have new activities to do. The BMX is actually very fun as well. So I do recommend it on sale. Obviously, I wouldn't spend like $20 or $30 for this, but I think it was worth 10. And then I do want to get the skateboarding at some point as well, but it's like $30, $40 now. I'm like, I don't know. I can't really justify that, dude. But I will say, as far as the $10 entry fee, like to just buy the game on sale, I wouldn't buy it maybe. I mean, I don't know. It's up to you if you want to buy it or not, but I think $10 barrier of entry for all the activities you get to do. Everything I listed before minus the BMX and skateboarding, like there's actually a lot to do in it. So that's pretty cool as well. And it's a perfect game to just screw around with your friends on. And I would recommend this to literally anybody to play, man. It's really easy to figure out. The controls are really easy and it's thrilling, man. It really is. Just soaring down those mountains on a bike it's something different, man. It just hits different. If I had this game when I was like really, really young, I would have like played the ever-living daylights out of this because it really is such a brilliant concept. I like to imagine a bunch of the devs at a round table and they're just like, all right, guys, let's make a new sports game. What are we thinking? Like BMX, maybe a snowboarding game, skateboarding. What do you guys want to cook? And then one guy was just like, what if we just do everything? And they're like, what are you talking about? He's like, all the sports. Let's just put them all in the game. And they're like, wait a second. That could work. That could work, Johnson. It could work. And then they just went up and did it. And then I'm sure they all lifted Johnson and carried him around like Rudy, for such a brilliant idea. Speaking of brilliant ideas, I'll tell you who didn't have one is whoever designed the fucking controls for this game. Holy shit, guys. Let me just explain the control layout in this game, right? So you obviously play this game with a controller. I believe you can play with a mouse and keyboard, but you're kind of a psychopath if you play a sports game without a controller, to be honest with you. You have the normal standard controls with the thumbsticks, right? The left thumbstick moves the actual character, and then the right one moves the camera. Right trigger makes you start going forward. Left trigger makes you brake. Left bumper is like your sprint ability that allows you to go faster. RB gets you off of your bike and puts you on your feet. But then here's the real kicker. Get ready for this. A, B, X, and Y are all used for doing flips and 360s and 180s and stuff. Flips and spins. That's all it's used for, man. So you have to hold A. You would hold A to jump in like normally any other sports game, right? And then you have to press A and then Y to do a front flip, or hold Y and then press A to do a back flip. You have to hold X and then press B to do a rightward spin, and to hold B and press X to do a leftward spin. So you hold all of the A, B, X, and Y buttons individually to jump, which is just so weird. I still don't understand it completely, and it still throws me off to this day. I know there's probably a way you can switch this into settings, but honestly, who cares at this point? I've been playing it for so long like this, but honestly, whoever decided this should be the controls instead of normally just like, you should be able to use the left thumbstick to do flips and tricks while you're in the air, right? That makes total sense to me. I really have no idea what they were going for with this control scheme. I think whoever came up with it might have brain damage. Just flips and spin wise, I guess. The rest of it seems fine. Also, when you're in the air, the triggers do different grab tricks along with how you move the analog sticks. Depending on which thumbstick you move, does different tricks as well. And that's pretty much universal depending on all the sports you can do tricks with. So it obviously, isn't going to work with like snowmobile and the wingsuit and whatnot. Let me just explain what you do inside of Riders Republic here. So you spawn into a giant overworld with a lot of separate biomes, right? Like there's a desert biome, snow biome, multiple different parks with pavement throughout the whole world. There's parks in the snow parts of the game. There's parks everywhere, man. Huge, massive hills you go down. But as far as the actual missions and gameplay goes, basically you go up to an event, you press A to start it. You can either start it solo or in co-op. So if you're playing with friends, you can just play against each other, which is pretty sweet. And then you basically just do the race or trick event or whatever it is. And then as soon as you're done, you get a star for it. And there's also 3 separate challenges you can do that can earn you additional stars. And what the stars do is they kind of serve as your ranking total. It just lets you know how many missions you've done in the game so far and how far you've progressed. And then what stars do is they open up more events and more of the map that you can go do. So that's basically it. You could do the same events in solo and co-op. Some of them are solo only, though. There's these tournament-style events as well with multiple rounds. As far as the overworld and events go, that's the most in-depth it goes. The whole game is just about getting stars, progressing, opening up more events, having fun with your buddies, and just getting it all done, man. Like that's the experience. That's the ride of the Riders Republic. As you're completing events, you're unlocking new gear as well. Gear is just like new bikes, new snowboards, new skis, all of that. They get better. They have better stats. I forgot to mention that each piece of equipment has its own stats as well. As far as customization goes, you can change like your character's skin color and shit. I was green for a while. I don't even know why. I was green with pink cornrows. I was like some She-Hulk trans looking weird fuck. As well as a bunch of different items of clothing and all sorts of crazy different suits and whatnot. Like there's giraffe suits, panda suits, ninja suits, like anything your mind can make up. There's actually a pretty fair amount of cosmetics in this game. You can buy them, of course, with your real money that you buy in-game with microtransactions. And there's also some pieces you can get with earnable money that you get in the game too. So it's not all completely microtransaction based. However, it does the classic thing where it's like, yeah, all the good stuff is going to be the stuff you have to pay for. Although there is a good selection of stuff that you can buy with the in-game currency that you earn that isn't all that bad either. As far as gameplay goes, I mean, there's not really that much else to it, boys. So with all that said, we're going to do a ranking list of my least favorite to most favorite sport thing to ride. Sport thing. I called it fucking sport thing. What do I call them? Like, I guess I should call it sport activity because that's the only wording I can come up with right now. So here's how we're going to rank them basically. I'm going to split biking up into BMX biking and mountain biking because they're pretty different. I'm going to break up skiing and snowboarding, even though they're not all that different, but they're different enough. And then skateboarding and then wingsuiting are going to be their own categories as well. So we're going to have six total rankings for all of the forms of sports activities in this game. So starting off with number 6, my least favorite, it's going to be the wingsuit, man. I really do like it. It's pretty immersive. None of them are bad, by the way. They're just my personal preference in which order I'd like to play them from least to most, you know? So yeah, that wingsuit's definitely going to come in dead last place. I really like it. It's really fun and all, although I just prefer the other stuff a lot more. Not much else to say about it. Coming up next at number 5, we're going to have skiing. Now, skiing in this game, it's very similar to snowboarding. Obviously, you can only do it in the snow parts of the map, and it's really fun. I really do like it. I'm actually a lot better at skiing than I am at snowboarding. However, I just think snowboarding's cooler, man. I was never really that into skiing. I did skiing in school, in like high school and stuff, and I don't know. I never really cared for it, so we're going to leave skiing right there at number 5. Coming in at number 4, we're going to have skateboarding, man. Just simply because I haven't really explored all that much. Maybe I'll buy it if it goes on sale for cheap like the BMX did one day. But if I wanted to play an arcadey style skateboarding game, I feel like I'd rather just go play Tony Hawk. Or if I wanted to play skateboarding in general, I would just go play the skate games because they're so much better. It is cool that they added it, so I got to put some respect on the name for that. Next up, topping number 3 with a podium finish is going to be the BMX bike. Now, the BMX bike, I really, really enjoy a lot. I love doing the tricks on it. I love going into the parks and going in bowls. I love grinding on the pegs. I love, doing spine transfers and stuff. I think all that is great and fun. When it comes to non-winter trick events, like BMX is definitely the best of the best, but it's not quite the best trick style event. So that's why it's going to sit comfortably down here at number 3. Coming in at number 2, comfortably taking the silver medal on the podium here, we're going to have snowboarding. I love the snowboarding in this game, man. It is really immersive. I just love roaring through that snow, jumping up, grinding different rails, going off different jumps, doing all sorts of crazy flips, and making a clean landing is just so energizing. I love it, man. Really, really love it. So that leaves us with only one more option taking the gold medal here, and of course, it's going to be the mountain bike, or downhill biking, rather. I find this event in particular so exhilarating. I love the races. I prefer the races more than the tricking events, just because it's just immersive. It's so fun to just like soar down a mountain so fast, and the game does a really good job at letting you know you're hauling ass because you can see like the wind streaks coming up and stuff. I don't know. I just love it, man. I love just crashing down a huge mountain, going off jumps. You don't have to do flips and stuff, but you can just to make it more fun. I don't know, dude. This is by far just the most fun to me anyways. I'm sure a lot of you will disagree, but fuck you. Mountain biking gang on top. With all that being said, I don't really know how much else I can say about Riders Republic here, so we will hop right into Chad or Retard of the Week here. So I'm going to come up with a comment with one of the reviews, and we'll give my opinion on it, okay? Since this is a Steam game, we're headed off to the Steam review section here. It did not take me too long to find the retard of the week here, so we have a comment from Maverick X Data that says, posted June 30th, 2023. He says, very similar. He has it recommended, by the way. Very similar to Forza Horizon and easy to pick up. The only downside is the frame rate drop from time to time. Retard of the week. Like, how is this similar to Forza Horizon? Please elaborate on that. I mean, in the sense where there's an open world with locations to go to, sure, but it's not a car driving game at all. It's not a racing game at all. I don't know what Maverick is trying to say here, but that just caught my eye really quick. Had to highlight that. Had to highlight that. Mostly because everyone else is just crying about the paywall, which is justified anyway, and the monetization, which is justified anyway. So found this comment. Thought it was pretty funny. I don't know how it's similar to Forza Horizon, but hey, you do you, man. But wait, there's more. I also wanted to highlight a Chad of the week because I need a retard palate cleanser here. So we're going to highlight this comment right here from HalleyCon from September 30th, 2023. Recommended, by the way. This person says, watching someone ragdoll from off screen into a rock at 120 miles per hour never gets old. Because it's so true, man. If you don't know, if you don't play a lot in the overworld of this game, you basically share it with a lot of the population that plays the game. You see a lot of people that are just in game doing their own thing. And a lot of the time people use the wingsuit or the rocket suit to just traverse the landscape, you know, instead of fast traveling. And then sometimes you'll be like walking up to an event and you'll see somebody just like dive bomb with the suit on and just fucking crash and die. It's so funny. So I just had to highlight this comment from HalleyCon. Very, very good. Very good. As far as covering everything in the game, guys, everything that Riders Republic has to offer, I'm pretty sure I did it all, besides maybe, I don't know if I talked about the Zen mode. So you have two options when you first start the game. You can either go into the normal career mode or you can go into Zen mode. And what Zen mode is basically it's just no progression, only exploration, only immersion. So it's really good if you get high on alcohol, if you smoke marinara. It's just for that next level of immersion where it's just you and the world of Riders Republic, and that is it, man. So if you enjoy mind-altering or body-altering substances like marinara, you would probably really enjoy this mode because it's just one giant throws you into the world of Riders Republic and you can just vibe out, have a good time. I'm all about the progression and the leveling though, so I never really spent any time in this mode personally, but if it's there for you if you want to use it, man. I honestly think that's going to do it for Riders Republic. I don't know how much else I can say about this game. I really can't say much else about this game. There's just not that much to it, but you know what they say, man. There's beauty in simplicity. So it's a simple game. It's a simple layout, but it works. It really does. It's very fun, and that's all you can really ask for a video game. That's why we play video games, guys, is for it to be fun. If you're not having fun, you don't got to play it. That's what I tell people all the time, man. It's just so bad. Like, I hate when people sit there and just complain and complain and complain. Like, yes, a game is bad, but the worst is when you see people that complain about games that and then they continue to play them. Like, just shut the fuck up and just enjoy it, man. Like, I get it. Balancing issues in some games, whatever, dude. You get outplayed, whatever. But at the end of the day, we're all having fun. We're having a good time. Stop crying. You could be in a much worse place in the world right now, I'm sure, and not be having a great time. So suck it up, okay? I'm sick of it. All that being said, on the other side of the coin as well, don't just sit there and accept mediocrity too. Like, bad games deserve to get criticized and shit on if they're really that bad. One good example of this is the new Call of Duty, the new Modern Warfare 3. I haven't bought it. I know it's on Game Pass. I do plan on getting that and playing the campaign eventually just to fully shit on it. But I mean, that was a project that never should have happened in the first place. That was just Activision's greed taking over, but still, it's going to be successful because it's Call of Duty and people will buy it no matter what. However, I don't want this video not to turn into that. I just wanted to make a point. So I hope that got across. In closing, let me just tell you all what I am playing really quick, like I always do at the end of each video. So what is Jerry playing? Still playing Overwatch. Never going to stop playing Overwatch. I've been on the ranked. I said fucking ranked. I'm on the ranked grind. It's going bad and it's going good, man. Like, sometimes I go on a 10 loss streak. Sometimes, like yesterday, I went on a massive win streak. I'm just trying to get all the Jade weapons for the support heroes, and that's really that. Close to another one, so hopefully I can snatch it this weekend. Probably probably get like Anna maybe. I honestly picked back up Pokemon Unite again because, I don't know, after playing so much Deadlock, it kind of got me in the MOBA mood again. But my Deadlock games have been going like 40 minutes recently, so I'm just like, I don't know. Kind of want to take some time and play a shorter game. So Pokemon Unite is pretty good for that. And it's pretty fun, man. I don't care if you hate it. You can shit on it all you want. It is a fun game. Those are the main two games I've been playing, Pokemon Unite and Overwatch. And then besides that, I'm playing a Switch game right now for the podcast as well. And then I also am playing this Xbox 360 game for the podcast as well. I'll give you one hint about what it is. There's a remake of it that came out a couple years ago that wasn't loved by fans. And I'm going to play the original and I'm going to play the remake just to compare and contrast them because I think it'll be super fun and it'll be a cool analysis of that game and where it all went wrong. Although before the reboot of the series, guys, I'm not gonna lie, it did go wrong a couple games in. So I don't know. Take that hint and run with it if you want. Anyways, I've been Jerry yapping way too long here, so that's going to do it for the podcast, guys. I really appreciate if you're listening to this. Leave a comment down below. What's your favorite piece of sporting equipment in Riders Republic? Also, if you're hearing this, type faggot in the comments or type like 69 or the letter Q. Anyways, that's it, guys. Thanks a lot for listening. Take care. Have a nice week. Have a nice weekend. Have a nice day. Peace. Goodbye.